Okay folks, back again. I had to clear some film out, space from my phone. So back again. I'm going to give you the time and the date so you know that I'm on the same date, same time, same subject. So the 26th February, 7:41. Okay. I'm going to enlarge it. Okay, so I want my family to confirm that what I saw, the overlay on Sutcliffe, was a depictions that you see of sort of like the Egyptian walls of like reptilian crocodile beings standing up alive. Okay, did I see that on that creature family, that overlay on Sutcliffe? Okay, and this is going to sound really weird. Listen, there's so much stuff that I don't say that is even fucking weirder, but there you go. And this entity said that he wasn't part of the targeting program. It wasn't. He was on him in his energy field to control him. Is that correct, family? It wasn't to feed off him. It was to control him, to stop him from raping. Bear in mind, he's part of West Midlands Police targeting program. Okay? And this entity was on him to stop him from raping, to control his behaviour, to control what he does. Okay, and before that, is that correct, family? Do you know, it's so bright. Not correct. Mini correct. Oh, there we go. So the entity was on this, the reptilian entity was on this Sutcliffe to control him. Is that correct, family? And this reptilian is a part of the curator, okay? Is not to control him in a negative way, it's to control what he does and the harm he will do or could have done to humans on Earth and other species. Nasty little bastard. And he's only a younger teenager as well. So that's why I was on them. So I always thought, and I've always been told, that mostly that the entities that are on these creatures, whether it's an insectoid creature, whether it's a grey, whether it's a demon, whether it's something I don't even fucking know what it is, just something, or a shadow, or a blob, black shadow of some kind, mostly they are feeding off the human. That's what they do. There's food, the human's food for them. Okay, so anybody with the overlay, they're just being fed on. Whatever entities attach themselves, they're feeding off their energy. They're feeding off them. They're feeding off their negative, fucked up energy. Was that correct, family? I'll wait till you appear again, because I can see you straight with my bare eyes. I don't know why it's not showing up on camera. Moved it wrong. Okay, is that correct, family? That the entities on these humans, or like with entity attachments, are feeding off their energy. Is that correct? Okay. As they become more attached, like I said with the dog, remember the dog at number 30? It could be not just one entity attachment. And her attachment, remember when I said it looked like Uncle Fester of the Addams family? See, these fucking, you'd be surprised, man. You'd be surprised. Okay, she, last time I ever saw her, she had that Uncle Fester. She had 3 of them, individual entities around her, plus a big shadow demon, a cloaked demon on her as well. Is that correct, family? And remember, she was a portal as well, so anybody that communicates with her, literally anybody that communicated with her, I said this before, that the energy, a black shadow would come out from her heart area, upper chest, neck area, and go into the heart area, the upper chest area of the person, creature being she was talking to. Is that correct, family? Okay. They're trying to do it with me. Once you, and I think it's because I'm a human, very much a human being, and very much linked to the Creator. Okay. The entities don't touch you. I've said this previously. The entities will move away from you. So there's something about us humans, and I literally do mean there's something about us humans, that the entities, the demons, do not go near us. They don't touch us. Is that correct, family? And is it to do with our heart, our energy? Family, is it to do with our heart? Is it to do with our link with the creators? Clearly see it. Is it to do with our link with the creators? So it's mainly to do with our energy, our heart-based energy. Is that so? I see another crap at the bottom. Okay. And I keep saying, and I will keep saying this, whoever you fucking link yourself to, start swearing. Whatever entity, whatever group you're linking yourself to, that is what you will end up as. That linked to that group, especially if it's a group and you're a single person and it's like a targeting program, or if you're a Freemason or whatever. If your group initially is a negative entity and it feeds off the misery of others, you're feeding a negative entity that's not even human, that's feeding off the human that's created these problems within society or within an organisation or to a person. It's not very clear, is it, folks? Tonight, so that's I'm putting my right hand in front of the camera. Okay. See if I can change positions. Oh, there we go. Okay, whatever you. Okay, it's there. See if I can. Is that better? Thanks. Yay! I don't know if it is. Okay, so whatever your energy is linked to, will dictate if you have an entity attachment or not. Okay, this is going to be a crappy slay one. I'm going to go back to this because I've had previous, like there's loads of crafts about as well. I want it to be clear. This is so important because what I'm going to say to do with the targeting, to do with being human, to do with how this civilization has been run, it's really important you understand how, just the very basics of it, is that these humans that control Earth, in inverted commas, and it's not humans that control Earth, but we'll say it for now, is being fed on, eaten and controlled by entities that feed off the pain and misery of mankind. said this previously. Let me go back, see if I can see the lights. Here we go. Okay, and this is not a good one, so this is not going to be a very, good post. Because I want my answers to be very clear, and I want it to be very prominent, the yeses and the nos, because this is what I was told from the very start, even before I saw the UFOs, before I knew what was happening regarding links to higher beings, if you'd like. One of the first things I was told to do with the targeting was that they are not human. No human would be involved in the targeting program. One. Secondly, no human's going to be involved in this because it's a fucking horrific program. Okay, and secondly, they are food. They are being fed on. They're being eaten by whatever energy, mostly, like I say, by whatever entity is overlaying their energy, is feeding off their energy. Okay, and their beastmasters won't tell them this. The bosses won't tell them this. Fucking lodge masters won't tell them this. Any of this. And this is why the very beings that are in control of Earth have left Earth. Things are changing. Things are changing so much that we don't even know this, what's happening now. They've gone now. Right? They haven't gone. I can see it right there. They're fading away. Okay, here we go. This, what's happening now, to me, this is a tiny bit of what's happening on Earth as we speak, plus in the galaxy, in the solar system. This is just a tiny, tiny bit of what's happening. And it's all for the betterment of the creations on Earth that are meant to be on Earth. And Earth itself and the solar system, these entities want to destroy not just Earth as the planet, but other planets within our solar system, to go around from planet to planet, destroying it and feeding off the inhabitants of that planet. Now there's the cycle that's come through. I've told you about the cycle and the human residence that's on Earth. That's why we're becoming more psychic and more aware of our feelings and more thinking, okay, they're not quite right. And this is what's happening now, and this is why the Earth is such a shit show, because the negative entities want to stop there. Negative beings, negative humans, the sick fucks, the psychopaths, the sociopaths, Boris Johnson, the likes, want to stop that. They don't want, and this is why, I can't be asked to go into it now, but you know what I mean, I've gone into it previously, and it's happening around the world. That's why we've had the presidents that we've had, the prime ministers that we've had. We're supposed to be evolved, we were meant to constantly evolve as humans. The society is meant to continuously evolve, because that's how it's supposed, that's the way it's meant to be. Not de-evolve. That's what's happening now, and it's been done deliberately. Okay, everything's been done deliberately, but I've said this previously. And because it's not a very clear video, and the responses are not very clear, or my camera angle, shall I set new positions? But the main point of this, when I say that the entities, that the creature bees, when I name the names, the GPs, Harley Bennett, blah blah blah, got entity attachments. This is why they've got entity attachments, because the entity attachments are feeding off them. And the very first persons that they told me, my family told me, I told you I saw this, that I saw entities feeding off, and they look like gargoyles. I've said this previously as well. Is the counsellors, like counsellors, Hanif Mohammed. Go and have a look who is. And there's a Tom somebody or other. And there's an ex-senior housing officer, at Dudley Council. I can remember walking down the street and I saw like gargoyles. I think they sort of quickly, for a couple of seconds, not even for a second, and I think it was my family, showed me what is on people, and they had, they dramatically, three of them sort of was looking up towards the flat. They dramatically turned round as they saw me coming up the street. This was in the middle of the afternoon, and stated, "Oh, she come to us for help, we would have helped her. She come to us, we would have helped her." Okay, they turned back round, and they had gargoyles-looking creatures on the left side of their body, and looked like the gargoyles. Wonder why I'm coughing now. Were eating something off their chest, looked like they were eating. Is that correct, family? Did I or did I not see that? Did I see that? Go and have a look who Hanif Mohammed is in Lai. Go and have a look who he is. Go and have a look, Tim somebody, and he's a white guy, councillor, really big, ugly looking fucker. And the housing manager, she's left, gone, nasty cow she was, and they put in place, and it wasn't, there's a newspaper article about them cleaning up about prostitution, okay, the councillor, the MP that they put in with brown hair, that wasn't the person that was there, okay, even the newspapers are in this and will re-edit stories. That wasn't the person that was there. It was the senior housing manager at Dudley Council, and they had gargoyles, creatures, eating off them. So it was on the shoulder, and it looked like it was eating something off their chest. Is that correct, family? It's going to sound fucking weird. Is that correct, family? Okay, move this along. And I've said this previously as well, so it wasn't just them sorts of entities, people that you wouldn't think would have attachments on them walking down the street. So, listen, this was in the afternoon in the high street in Lai. I was shocked, and I would have died, literally, and it was just for a second, a millisecond. And I think my family wanted me to see that just to see what is around us and what is on other people. And Hanif Mohammed, he was the mayor of Dudley when the targeting began, and he's local councillor of Dudley when the targeting began, and he's very aware and very much a part of the targeting programme. What did I say when the counselling began? When the targeting began. Did I say targeting? I'm not even tired. I've been worse than this, I've been exhausted. Anyway, yeah. And look who he is, and he's a demon. Straight up, you wouldn't think, when I say these people are evil cunts, they are evil cunts. And it was because of him. And they look so innocent, don't they? So go and have a look. Go and have a look at these people. Go and have a look at Dudley MPs. Okay. He, I'm going to go into it in more detail about how they have to control their energies to stop the entities that are in them, on them, overlaying them from coming out, especially when they're in public. They can't be too leery, they can't be too happy, they can't be too angry, they have to control their emotions. And they can feel when the entity, they know this is happening, they know they've got an entity attachment, they know this. Is that correct, family? And this is universal. This is not just the Dudley MPs. This is universal all around the world. Entities, people, inverted commas, with entity attachments. Okay, this is universal. I'm going now because it's not a very clear shot. I want it to be really, really clear. Let's move. think it's the time. Here we go. It's still not very clear, but I want to say, yeah. So when I say these entities, and this is the reason why I've got entity attachment, because they're being fed off. Okay? Everybody that's got an entity attachment, has got a demon attached, or whatever it is, it's food. They are food for whatever entity. And like I say, it's really difficult for ordinary human beings, even for animals, to have an entity attachment. It's really difficult for any entity to invade another entity, another living being. Is that correct, family? Unless you join yourself, everybody. Oh, before I forget, everybody involved in the Tartan program has or will have an entity attachment. Everybody. That's why it's lessened around the world. That's why people have stopped. That's why certain countries have stopped the Tartan program. Not because they've developed a moral compass. No, nothing like that. It's because that the people that were involved in it, the police officers, the council officials, the government officials, they saw that their people, their creature beast, had entity attachments, demons attached. So that's why it stopped worldwide. Get the words out. And in the UK, because we're not religious at all, we're not a religious country. Church of England, ha 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 ha. Anyway, we're not a religious country. They don't see it. They don't believe in demons. They don't believe in entities, beings that are not of flesh and right in your face. Okay, they're not brought up to that, to believe that. So it's easier. Okay. Than in certain countries where it's very, they've been taught about demons, been taught about other beings, worldly beings in this world, apart from humans and solid-looking entities and beings. Yeah, so the targeting program worldwide has decreased, especially when I first started being targeted. It's decreased. In the UK, because they're so fucking thick and they're so craving and the moral compass is so lacking, and because most of the people that are under this program are sexual deviants, racist, people with lower moral compass, thick as fuck, pissheads, the dregs of society. And I mean the dregs, and I'm counting sort of doctors, I'm counting professionals in this when I say the dregs, and the pissheads, and the creature beast, and the sex offenders, and the sexual deviants. I'm counting everybody that's involved, and the organisations that are involved in this. No organisation can be involved in this programme without knowing that at the very core of it is sexual deviance. They know this, okay? And the reason why it's sexual deviance is because we've got entities living off the humans that they're feeding off. Is that correct, family? That's all. They are being fed off. Everything they do. Yeah, so and we've got to realise just how fast energy works. It's really, really quick, okay? We think something and it happens and it's there, and pink elephant, automatically thought of pink elephant. Before I've even finished the sentence of pink elephant, a pink elephant would have formed itself right next to me and did a little skit. Can't even explain how fast energy works, especially in the non-physical field as we are. Things are so slowed down that we don't even realise how slow it is. So they believe, the creature beasts believe, that once they get the sensation, they get a buzz out of this. They really do get a buzz. And it's the entities giving them that buzz. So the entity always feeds first. Whatever entity it is, always feeds first. And then gives the human whatever is left. Whatever energy or whatever it wants to give the human. The creature beast. Okay? The human thinks it's buzzing, it's done an act and it's buzzing. And it's feeling and it's in a moment, it's not in a moment. Fucking the demon what's on them, in them, overlaying them, is feasted first, and they're having the scraps of energy. The scraps of that energy, whatever that energy was, whether it's to make somebody scared, whether it's to rape, whether it's to embarrass someone, whatever energy that human wanted to create with someone, whatever interaction they had with that human. And it would be normally a negative reaction, the feeding of negativity, anxiety, fear. Okay? Whatever energy or whatever emotion they wanted to extract from that human, and they think they've got it, they think they've sussed it, they think they've got it, and they're feeding off it, and they get a pleasure out of it, they get a kick out of it. It would have been a demon on them first that feeds off them, and then they get whatever the demon wants to give them. Am I making sense tonight? Oh, I hope I've made sense. Okay. And remember, folks, and I keep saying this, it's their energy that's attracted whatever to them. It is their energy, it's their soul. They've got no soul. In fact, they've got no link to the creator. That's why. They've got no heart. Right at the beginning, I kept saying about heart energy, and heart energy. Do you know how important that is? To love, to feel love. Think of something, I keep saying that, think of something you love and feel how your heart responds. They don't have that. All they've got is hate. Okay, and entities on these creatures and what's ruling Earth now, they have nothing but pure contempt for humanity. They have nothing but pure contempt for our creators. Humans we don't even know how powerful we are. We don't need to feed off somebody else to feel a lift, a buzz of love. They do. They need to feed, and it's fear, and it's a negative emotion based. So that's why society has been created. This society, like it is now, there will always be wars. There will always be women living in fear. There will always be race wars. Because that's how this civilization has been created to be made. There will always be fear regarding our health, and because the human resonance is coming in, it's going to escalate. Things are going to continue to escalate. And like I say, go back into your heart. Don't fall into the trap. So many different subjects to go into, but I won't. But just pick up the paper. Just pick up the paper. It's not in paper now. If you've got a tablet, got your phone. There's always something, isn't there? Always fucking something. And they do it on purpose. I would say don't watch the news. Literally don't watch the news. Don't get involved in celebrity gossip and their fuckery. Don't give them your energy. Just don't feed into it. Because that's what you do when you're giving them your energy and they're feeding off your response, off your anger, off your fear. Okay, I'm going now. Thank you, family. I'm going to do this again. I'm going to say the same subjects. I'm going to ask the same questions, maybe include a few more people who've got entity attachments and blah, blah, blah. Because it's so important. And this is the crux That's when we'll distinguish between humans and non-humans. It's nothing to do with race whatsoever, and it's nothing to do with gender. There's nothing to do with its country you're born in or your culture. It's to do whether now, for me, whether you are linked to the creator. It's not even to do, not even if you're human or not. It's to do with if you're linked with the creator or not. As simple as that. If you're linked with that person, your friend, your lover, your husband, your child even is linked to the creator or not. If they're not linked to the creator, my advice, dump them. Don't connect with them emotionally. If they are in your life, if you know about psychopaths, sociopaths, if the work colleagues, if the lovers, if your husband, you know, come on, we're all grown ups here, I think. You know someone is repeatedly keeps getting into situations where their behaviour causes harm to others. Okay, something like that you don't need in your life. Somebody always that creates drama, that craves it, that wants it, that always causes trouble. Human beings don't act that way. Human beings do not act that way, especially when you get to adulthood. Human beings do not act that way, do not want to cause fear or harm or problems for others. Unless you fuck with them, basically. Or you have the temper tantrum rage thing, but if you know what I mean, but continuously, if their behaviour is continuously harming others, you'll know that they're not human, they're not linked to the creator. And I'm going off tangent, I'm saying more because there's loads I want to fill in with what I'm saying. But I want to start, going to end here. And I want to say, so when I say they've got entity attachments, the reason why they've got entity attachments is because these beings are feeding off them. There she is, okay? They're being fed off. Whether it's a demon or a living being that's alive somewhere else and it's just sensed into their energy, logged into their energy, and is feeding off them. You know, the cat. Not Baba. So they're being fed off, okay? And I'll give you an example. I told you about Hanif. The 3 examples when 3 people I saw, and I actually saw beings that were gargoyle-looking things feeding off them. Is that correct, family? Give me a chance, Estelle. Shh, minute. Is that correct? Gargoyles feeding off. And if you look at him, he looks docile, doesn't he? They're not. Evil doesn't come with fucking red face and horns. And I'm going now, folks. Thank you, family. I'm going to have this conversation again because I want it to be very clear, like it was previously when I spoke about how we are warriors, how human beings are warriors. How many times did I say warriors? I listened back and I thought, oh, fucking hell. Was it clear? Did you get it? That we are warriors. Fucking hell. Anyway, thank you, family. Thank you, folks. Oh, God, I hope it's got through. Hope it's clear. And I'm going to come back again when it's clearer. And when I mean it's clearer, when the lights are clearer and there's no trees or branches in the way. Okay? Thank you, family. Thank you, folks. Bye. You see the lights? There's a creature beast. They're vile, aren't the family? And the creature beast. Yes, they are. Okay, folks. Bye. Thank you, family.